Gintama is the greatest anime of all time. I've seen way too many anime in my lifetime, where I can confidently say that Gintama is the best anime I have ever seen. It has everything you could want in anime: action, comedy, great characters, and a great plot that will get you hooked. It all starts with the main cast. I'm going to start with Gintoki, the main character. Sakata Gintoki is one of the best main characters in anime history. He would be in an S tier if I had to make an anime character tier list. He's a complex character. So in the beginning of Gintama, not much is known about Gintoki's backstory. We're just sprinkled with hints about his backstory in the first part of the show, but all we know about him is that in the beginning, he was a participant in the Joey War and was feared and known as the White Demon. However, when we meet Gintoki, he's a nice guy and befriends another one of the main characters, Shinpachi Shimura. He saves Shinpachi from a bunch of rude aliens, and together with an orphaned alien girl, Kagura, they start the odd jobs and work under Gintoki's guidance. Gintoki, Shinpachi, and Kagura all mesh together really well. Gintoki as a sort of father figure and mentor. All three characters have goals and aspirations. Shinpachi wants money to keep his deceased father's dojo running. Kagura needs a home since she's an alien from a different planet and is lonely, and has no father figure to depend on. I really like the relationship between Gintoki and Kagura. It's really sweet as well, since at first Gintoki is annoyed by Kagura's bratty nature. But over the course of the show, they develop a strong bond, and Kagura even starts taking most of Gintoki's characteristics and mannerisms, such as Gintoki's classic booger picking. Gintoki even starts treating Kagura as like a little sister or even as a father figure for her. All three during the whole show develop a strong bond and become a great family. At first, Gintama is episodic, with most of the episodes being comedy-based. However, when Gintama does start to pick up and you do get to the serious arcs, it gets insanely good. I was instantly hooked when I got to the first serious arc known as the Benizakura arc. In this arc, you do meet one of the main villains of Gintama, who is known as Takasugi Shinsuke. You learn more about the trio of Gintoki, Katsura, another recurring character, and Takasugi. They grew up together as samurai, but after the war, they each took different paths, and unfortunately, due to something that happened during the war, Takasugi chose the path of destruction and chaos. He pretty much wants to destroy the whole world. This is where Gintama does a great job of showing, not telling. Katsura implies that if anyone would want to destroy the world, it would be Gintoki. He would have the most reason to. We do find out later why Katsura says this, but to avoid spoilers, I'll let you watch the show and decide for yourself, and be shocked at what it was. However, Gintoki is a good person, and just wants to live a good life with his family of Kagura and Shinpachi. However, not only are the serious arcs amazing as well, but even the comedy arcs are amazing, and well written. One of my favorite comedy arcs is an arc called the Character Poll arc. Gintama is so meta that they made an entire arc that revolves around a poll that real-life fans of the show actually voted on. The real-life fans voted on their favorite characters, and they gave them rankings of the most popular to least popular. Gintoki, of course, came in first, and then so on. It's a hilarious arc since the lower-ranking characters form a group, and they have a goal to destroy the top-ranked characters and take their rankings. Pretty much the whole arc, you can literally see the rankings on top of the characters' heads. Like, even the author of Gintama is ranked. Sorachi Sensei, the author of Gintama, ends up getting beaten up by the characters that rank lower than him. It's even funnier when you realize that Sorachi himself wrote this arc. Gintama is a king of fourth wall breaks, and this arc showcases this. Gintama is also the king of parodies. They have actual arcs based off their parodies. One of my favorite parody arcs is where one of the characters of Gintama, Toshiro, is addicted to smoking. But unfortunately for him, smoking gets banned in his workplace. So Toshiro starts to look for places to smoke, but again, he's unlucky because most places have signs that prohibit smoking. So he gets so desperate that he ends up taking a spaceship and going to the planet Hammock, which is a parody of Planet Namek from Dragon Ball. At the planet Hammock, he ends up fighting the villain called Frieza, who again, of course, is Frieza, and ends up mourning Krillin, who is, of course, Krillin, and ends up having to gather the slippery balls. It's just a crazy episode, and the Dragon Ball parodies are spot on. How does Gintama not get sued? Like Gintama is so meta, they have a whole episode where they just roast Vegeta. Shit's hilarious. Also, I'm sure most of you have at least seen that Shinpachi kiss scene with the alien. If you haven't, I highly recommend finding it on YouTube. You're in for a weird experience. Like, without context, it's the funniest thing ever. It's even funny with context as well. That scene is comedic genius, and just what makes Gintama the king of comedy anime as well. Gintama is so random, and you just never know what you're getting into when an episode starts. I've seen Gintama twice, and if you showed me a clip, I might not even have an idea on what's going on. Even as I'm talking about this show, it sounds so strange, but trust me when I say it's amazing. As I'm wrapping this video up, I just want to end it with one of my favorite quotes said by Kentucky the legend himself. If you've got time to fantasize about a beautiful death, why not live beautifully until the end?